Most people, when they get into an accident, the number one excuse is, oh, they came out of nowhere, right? I tell them this is not Harry Potter's world where things magically appear, right? Something always comes out of somewhere. But if you're not paying attention, if you don't observe properly, that's when you use that excuse, right? So I'm Ronald Gomez, and I've been teaching for over 2 decades now. This is a family business, a small business, but we take pride in our jobs here. Our job's to make sure we have safe drivers out on the road. The way I think about it is a small world, right? So I might not teach someone properly and they're gonna get into an accident with me in the future.
Okay, let's get started.
All right, let's do this.
You're downtown.
Oh yeah, we gotta be doing our 360 checks here, which most people don't do. So we're gonna head down Jarvis here. So as I'm turning here, I'm getting the big picture. I see the first sign saying center lane. Okay, use or do not use. Right now it shows the green arrow, means I'm allowed to use the center lane. Okay, so this lane here is what is separating traffic during rush hour times. Okay, so in rush hour traffic, you have the 3 lanes, usually northbound or southbound. But if I see the red X, meaning I'm not allowed to drive in the center lane, I have to make a left from this lane that I'm driving in. A lot of people don't even see the signs. They don't know what the lane markings on the floor mean, right? So they get confused. You see some chaos, people going the same way, in the same lane, the opposite way.
That's good.
Nah, it's not a good combo there. I see the green arrow still facing towards me. If I see the X, I gotta immediately switch lanes to the right, saying, okay, I'm not allowed to drive on this side anymore. That's why you cannot stare at the vehicle in front of you. You can't have tunnel vision. You gotta get the picture.
What about stopping for streetcars?
Oh, with the streetcars, people, you have to once again anticipate. Sometimes you can see with the streetcar, they're putting their signal in advance. You can see the people all standing, try to hop onto the streetcar. You have to anticipate their lights, the flashing lights, okay? And they should be giving 6 meters, 2 cars length behind the doors there. Just in case if you get bumped from behind, you don't hit the person that are coming in and out of the streetcars. But once again, some people don't check. They're distracted on their phones. So as a pedestrian, when you're hopping on the streetcar, it's your safety also to look both ways before you hop on. Just because it's your right of way doesn't mean that everyone's paying attention, right? The ones on St. Clair, those dedicated streetcar lanes, you have to pay extra attention because sometimes when you're making a left, some people end up turning into the streetcar lane, right? There's been a case where they go underneath the ground on Spadina there and they get stuck in there, right? Or with the dedicated lanes, when you're trying to make a left or a U-turn onto St. Clair, right? People see the green light, but don't see the green arrow and just still try to make a U-turn and they get hit by a streetcar. I actually saw that once. A lot of people don't know what shared bike lanes are, okay? And where the shared bike lanes is, you usually have a solid line going across with the bike lane. At the end, when you're trying to make a right onto the main road, if it's a solid line all the way across, then it's a dedicated bike lane. So that's when you cannot get into that, tuck into that little space. But some of them actually have the dotted lines. Those are called shared bike lanes. A lot of cyclists and motorists don't know the rules. So you have to know the rules. So you have to pay attention, right? Lane markings is very important. To be honest with you, this is my favorite classes when I teach downtown. It's the hardest, but they're my favorite classes to teach. I love when my students want to say, if we go downtown, oh, I give them a 2-hour class downtown and they learn so much. Like, wow, it's so much harder. They're like, no wonder my aunt from Mississauga or Woodbridge from the suburbs, they hate coming to Toronto. They don't know how to drive in Toronto, especially downtown, right? You can drive in Toronto, you can drive everywhere else after, right?